Welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
I'm Candace.
I'm Lariah.
And I'm Lacey. Grab a drink and come hang with us at the Hangar Bar.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. We are excited to be hanging out with you again from the Minx Bourbon Bar. We have all four of us together again. Woohoo! Yay! And today we're going to start, let me back up just a little bit. Again, when this group gets together, we like to drink. So we're not having a Disney drink today, but we are drinking pina mimosas this morning. We found a juice at Costco that is pineapple, pina colada,
apple,
orange,
banana,
and then just mix that with some delicious Kirkland's Prosecco. And Costco, if you want to sponsor us, we're open to the conversation. But we're drinking a little bit of that this morning, so who knows? We might get a little silly as we go through, because I may have started pre-gaming before the girls got here, but that's okay. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to leave the parks, and we're going to go straight into talking about Disney movies. What we're going to talk about with our Disney movies today, though, is live action versus the animated movies. So Disney has gotten into this really
terrible.
Let's not share our opinions yet, Candace.
All right.
They've gotten into this spot where they're remaking all of the animated movies into live action movies. And if you could see me using air quotes, because a lot of them are just CGI related movies. But we're going to spend some time talking about that shift from the truly animated, hand-drawn movies, even if the hand-drawn is computer animated, hand-drawn, to the live-action CGI type movies today. So that's what we're going to talk about. We already know what Candace's opinion is, but I'm going to challenge her on that, because we had the option the other night to watch Aladdin, and we could have picked the old animated version, or we could pick the live-action version. And which one did you pick, Candace?
I picked the live action, and I can't tell you why. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen it as much as I have the animated, and I even felt like when we were watching parts of it, I'm like, have I seen this before? Because I don't remember certain sections of it. It was fine. The music was fine. Whatever. I still prefer the animated.
Yeah, for sure. So the question that I have, and maybe this is just where the conversation starts now that I just held Candace's feet to the fire just a little bit there. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So is this change of remaking all of these movies from animated to live action, is it just simply Disney trying to print cash, or are they doing it for the art?
Well, I remember having this discussion in private with Candace a long time ago. And didn't we discuss that it was because Disney has to remake movies for some reason, like to either own the copyright to the story, or was it more of like Walt wanted the movies to be kind of reimagined every so many years?
That I don't remember.
No? Okay.
I don't know, like, I know the copyright issue, not to go into too much of a rabbit hole. So the copyright issue is all around right now. I think the copyright on characters is like 90 years, 92 years, something like that. So that's like, we're coming up close on Disney losing the copyright to the first Mickey Mouse, which means other people would be able to take that character and do something with it. I don't know that that's true for being able to like remake the animated movies. Like the story copyrights, I don't know. Be an interesting thing to look into.
Well, and I think it's interesting because most of the stories aren't Disney generated stories anyway. They're fairy tales from long ago, or, you know, I guess a couple of the stories are probably pretty proprietary, but not like Aladdin is not.
Right. So I'm inclined to think it's just a cash grab by Disney, but then I think a little bit about the fact that Disney has always re-released their films. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody sitting here now knows what the Disney Vault is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like when we were little, they don't do it so much with the streaming now because everything's out there all the time, which is probably part of the reason why they have to reimagine the movie so they can re-release it. But when we were growing up, it was they would release a movie to the theater, they'd release it out on video, and then it would go into the vault and just not be available anywhere for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Then Disney would print money when they said, oh, the 10-year anniversary of Lion King. Let's go ahead and put that out there and get people to rebuy the movie in this new packaging all over. So really, it's a more expensive way for Disney just to repackage the same movie.
Yeah, I do remember those days. I forgot all about that, but I remember asking my mom for a new VHS of Sleeping Beauty because I accidentally recorded something over it.
Oops.
Yeah, which I didn't know was possible, but
I didn't either, but
yeah, I accidentally,
props
didn't know.
to you figuring it out.
Right? Yeah.
Right over Maleficent's scene, too.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
How dare you?
I know.
When she's the dragon.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, so it was completely ruined, and I wanted a new copy, but it was in the vault, and that was me figuring out, like, oh, I'm going to have to wait, and we waited that whole time to get a new copy of Sleeping Beauty. So my whole thing with the live action, though, when the first one I remember coming out, like, live action was Cinderella, and I honestly really liked it, because they did a whole lot of backstory, because if you're watching the, animated version, it's a short movie. It was made, in the
50s.
Mm-hmm. And you don't get a whole lot of, character development. It's just, it's just the fairy tale. Then the live action is more of a backstory. You get to, learn about other characters. I loved the Cinderella live action. I love the animated version too, but the live action I thought was done really, really well. Then came Beauty and the Beast. I liked it, but then to me it was more of like they just did the same movie but with live action and a whole lot of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of CGI. I'm not a fan. And then after a while, after everyone talks, I could really get into Lion King. That's not live action.
No.
Nor is the Jungle Book.
True. I completely forgot it. That one was probably released before Beauty and the Beast, wasn't it?
No, I think Jungle Book just came out in the last couple of years.
No,
Really?
It's been a while.
Has it?
But
I lose all track of time.
it's okay. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah. We're experts. I am not an expert.
Looks good on paper.
Just because we're a podcast group does not mean we're experts in everything, but we have strong opinions.
Yes, we do, and we will share them and share them and share them.
Right? Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. They call them live action. Right? I think we'll circle back around to some individual movies and what we liked about them and what we didn't. But I've yet to see the entire live action Lion King.
Same.
It was
Same.
dumb. I tried to get into
Same.
it. I couldn't watch it.
I haven't even started it. It's dumb,
No.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I was just going to ask, is the live action Jungle Book even on Disney Plus?
I think it is. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
I have not seen it.
We haven't looked for it.
I can check right now. I have Disney Plus on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, do that. Because you're right. That is just a different animation style. Especially something like The Lion King. At least with Jungle Book, there's some human characters. But The Lion King, there is not a single human character. How do you justify calling that live action?
Because truth be told, if you put all those animals live together, it would be a bloodbath. Honestly.
Yes.
And how you're going to get 5,700 hyenas to all follow one stupid lion.
It's out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no
Okay.
way.
No.
No way.
Yeah. I don't get
Zazu
it.
would have been a snack.
Probably by Mufasa.
Right?
It's-
Animal Planet.
I mean, I do think the only good thing about The Lion King that they did was made sure that the voices
Yes.
were voiced by, people of color. I do think, because in the other Lion King, it's in Africa, all of that. And Simba was what? Matthew Broderick and Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Mufasa was
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, which he's awesome. But I think with this new one, the only thing that was good about it was that they had people of color voice the animals, and which made way more sense.
Right.
And they are getting much better about that. I mean, even in the live action Aladdin,
Yeah.
you've got people of color, starring in these roles.
Yeah, they have people that at least look like they came from that part of the world.
Right.
Yeah. So that's probably the best thing is that, and maybe that is a reason why, is because they're trying to be more responsible about that and more inclusive, and that's a good thing about these live action, is that they're actually casting the correct people for the roles instead of whitewashing everything.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Just for some of them, like, I don't even mind if Disney were to come out with The Lion King and say, hey, we want to remake this with a new animation style because we think it's cool, and we're going to change up the story, and we're going to use people of color for the storytelling aspect, I think people would have been more behind that than coming out saying, hey, this is a live action remake of The Lion King.
No, it isn't.
Lions don't sing.
That
You
we
don't
know
know. They could. I mean, if you can hear a lion roar from 5 miles away, how do you know he's not whisper singing to himself as he walks through the jungle?
Whisper singing.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't call it live action.
Yeah.
For me.
Agreed. Agreed.
I don't even, like, if they would have said, hey, we're experimenting with a new animation style. Great. I'm going to watch it just to see what they do with it. Mm-hmm. Change up the story a little bit, too, to your point. Like, don't make it the same story. Like, I've not seen Cinderella, the live-action Cinderella
Yes,
either.
you have.
Have I?
Yes.
Okay. It's obviously not the same story.
It is. Robba Stark played Prince Charming.
But it's not told the same way, right? Because, like she said, there's more backstory.
There's more character development to it, but it's the same story because it's Cinderella.
Right. But they changed it up enough to where it didn't feel like they were trying to remake
Yes.
the original animated cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why it stands out to me with the live action, is just because it's just, you could watch Cinderella, the animated one, and then you could watch the live action, and you would totally feel like you're watching two different movies. But if you watch Beauty and the Beast, I think that you would feel like you're rewatching, because there's like some same jokes and, but I do have to say that I do kind of appreciate some of the new music that they're putting in. Like the Beast song, I feel like he deserved a song in the original. And then in Aladdin, I love Jasmine's song. I really do.
What is it? Speechless?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. And the actress who plays her, I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
Doesn't she kind of, to me, she looks a lot like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Like they just have the same facial features. I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyway, I like the new music. I do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I was just going to say that, making sure you add in something new to let new audiences grab onto. I still vote for the fact that they're just a cash grab, but
Oh, 100%.
And it seems a little bit lazy to me.
Yes.
And it seems like, okay, you all know how I feel about Frozen.
We do.
Yes.
really? You don't like it?
Oh, she's giving you the look. Ooh. Spicy.
But it seems just like, it's like, okay, we have to push this out in front to keep this movie relevant. And maybe we're going to put something in the parks to go with it. So we need to build up this hype to get people all excited about it again. Because God forbid somebody remember a movie from 30 years ago and have some strong emotional attachment to it, a.k.a. Lion King. and not have something thrown in their face with all new merchandise and all new this and all new that, just to try and get people into the parks.
Right.
So do you think it's about trying to get people into the parks, or is it them trying to get continue to monetize that Lion King story or that Aladdin story?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say all of the above.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences in Disney.
No.
Right.
We've discussed that before.
Yeah, I had never really thought of it, the fact that that is what they're doing to replace the vault, because they didn't really start doing the live action until streaming became a thing.
Right.
When all of a sudden you couldn't put things back in the vault. There would be riots if they tried to remove some of those movies from Disney Plus.
People get upset over lines for pretzels.
Right.
Of course there would be.
Right. So that's what they're doing to replace the vault. And now that I say that out loud, I think it makes me understand the live action remakes a little bit more, because Disney's always remonetized their stories.
Well, that, and right now, or for the past, 10 years, probably even more than that, we're living in a world where there's very few original movies that come out anymore. A lot of the times they're remakes. Movies that we all love, like Top Gun. That's still in theaters, and it came out how many weeks ago, I'm a horror movie fan, and a lot of the horror movies that are coming out are a lot of Stephen King remakes, Halloween remakes. And, I feel like it's been this way for a while, but now more than ever, I just feel like the newest movie that you're seeing is a remake, which...
Well, at first, they were fun, but
Yeah.
now it's just getting old and lazy.
Yeah, you
It's
feel like there's
tired.
nothing new.
Right.
And it's like, just let me watch the original then, because now it's not fun anymore.
Well, and kind of to shift directions and step away from Disney for just a little bit, but Lacey, you brought it up with the whole horror movie genre. It seems like the remakes now are more for the sake of blood and gore and grossness,
Yeah.
as to where the old movies actually got inside your head and made you think. Like, for example, and the remake on this is old, but Psycho.
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock's original Psycho messes with a person's head like nobody's business. The new one, it's all blood, it's all gore, it's all gross. And I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. Same with Halloween, too. If you watch the first Halloween, there's not a whole lot of gore in that. It's more just, creepy, and, it gets inside your head a little bit. But, yeah, I agree with you there, where it's definitely more about the gore and the killings and stuff like that, which, yeah, I prefer the old stuff.
So going back to Disney, and we've talked about this in past episodes before, do you think the character development that they're putting into the live action is because they feel the need to feed people's inability to have an attention span larger than a gnat?
Oh, probably.
And to be able to connect with the characters on a quicker level?
See, I've always wondered about that, because you go back and watch any movie from pretty much the early 90s and before that. Movies really were not that long. You watch a movie, it's pretty much an hour and a half. Nowadays, you watch the only older movies that were longer were Star Wars and stuff like that. Nowadays, if you watch an hour and a half movie, you're like, oh, that was it. Because nowadays I feel like the 2 hours is for some of the movies that us enjoy, Disney movies and stuff like that. Not the animated ones as much, because I feel like they know that kids are not going to sit there for 2 hours. But with the live action, aren't they a little bit longer? So maybe they are remaking them more for the people who grew up with them, to kind of see them differently.
Let's hope so.
I mean, there's all different reasons, I'm sure. It's not just one reason why they decided to, but that's something.
Disney's a corporation. Everything is money driven.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How can we maximize our dollars? And Disney is really good about playing off of nostalgia.
Yes.
So those of us that like our first movie that we remember is Beauty and the Beast. Or I'm trying to think of some of those late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, well, telling you how old we are. My first recollection of a Disney movie was Fantasia.
Really?
Yeah, and that was originally released in the 40s, and I'm not that old.
We know. Don't worry.
But when I was... I don't even remember how old I was. But they released that into the theaters again, probably for some anniversary or something. And my mom took me to see it. And it was the original, like with the big dinosaurs and all that. And we ended up leaving during that part because I got really scared.
What a movie to start off with.
Right? Yeah.
That's
But
really cool.
going back to the nostalgia factor of that, so you fall in love with this movie. And then when they did Fantasia 2000, I was all about it. Because I loved that memory with my mom and seeing that in the theater so much that I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they know how to tell stories and they know how to get you in the heart.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going after their money. They're going after the nostalgia, trying to get, like, we're at that age where where if we had kids, they would be about that age. They're wanting to find new ways for us to introduce Lion King to this generation. They're wanting all of those things.
I'll tell you right now, if I had kids, they would be watching the originals, and there would be no way around that.
Yeah, and that's such a great point. Like, if I'm going to sit down, like, even before a live action, if I had kids, I'd be like, okay, we're going to go see The Lion King, but you're going to watch the original one first.
Yeah.
You're going to know what it was really like, and then you're going to go in and you're going to hear me bitch about how bad this CGI is.
Right.
The whole movie.
This is all for me. Okay,
right.
This is. I'm going to vent to you now.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't have kids, because it would always be just about me. Like, what are you doing for me?
There are several thousand reasons we don't have children.
Yeah.
And we're proud of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my first Disney movie was Lion King. And then my first Disney movie in a theater was Hercules. However.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. But I loved Pete's Dragon. I mean, y'all know that. I watched Pete's Dragon, Fox and the Hound.
Oh.
I know how sad it is, but I loved it when I was a kid. Bambi.
No.
No, yeah, I know. But that's those
They
are
really tortured us
Yeah.
with those ones.
Oh, and we even forgot that they made a live action version of Dumbo.
Yeah.
I
I've
didn't even
not
see
seen
that
that
one.
one.
The audacity.
I've seen half of it. It's Tim Burton, so I thought maybe he'd do something cool with it. I just don't like I love Dumbo the character. He's sweet and cute. I don't like that story, that movie, live action or animated. I don't like it.
The original one is so tragic, I can't.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of them.
Be prepared. If you decide to watch, be prepared. It's
might.
terrible.
You know what?
I've never been interested.
No, the best older Disney movie that came out before like we were born is The Rescuers. Okay,
Oh,
that's where
hell
it's
yeah.
at.
So that one was released in 1977. I'm just looking at a list of all the animated movies just to kind of see which one we probably first saw in the theater.
Oh yeah.
So in 1977 is when The Rescuers came out. The first one you and I would probably remember if we went to see it in the theater would be The Fox and the Hound in 1981.
Yep.
I don't think I saw that in a theater
I
at
did.
all. The Great Mouse Detective was 1986.
Yeah.
I loved that one.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was 1988.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was 90s.
Nope, that was 1988.
Wow.
Oliver and Company was released the same year, and then the first really big name one that like everybody knows that they're now doing a live action remake of, 1989 was The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Yep.
And speaking of people of color filling characters, like I've seen a lot of news reports about people being pissed off that they cast Ariel as a person of color.
Screw them.
This is they're underwater. Why do we care what race they are?
Right.
Like why are you
they're
mad
a
about
mermaid.
that?
Sebastian has a Jamaican accent. Where do you like what?
Yeah, just get over yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Of all things to be concerned about.
Amen
Yeah.
to
Right.
that.
Then Beauty and the Beast, which they did a live action remake of, was 91. Aladdin was 92. Lion King was 94. So like when we were in high school and after, that was a magic time for Disney animation.
That was golden age.
And they're targeting all those live action remakes directly to us.
Of course they are.
And what would be our kids if
And
we
it
had
would be
them.
fine if they were done well.
Pocahontas was 95.
And not have computer animated animals and call them live, because they're not.
So the first one you remember seeing in the theater was Hercules?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one came out in 97.
Okay, so I was like
All
4.
of these were before I was born.
Yeah.
Shush.
And those were what I grew up on,
Yeah.
which is amazing to hear. That even the ones in like the 40s, right, was Snow White.
Snow White was
30s.
actually 28.
28.
Oh,
Gosh,
seriously?
darn.
I love Snow White.
It's just kind of amazing to hear that those were all the movies I grew up on, and I was born in 98. Like circling way back to 28. And then kids nowadays are like won't even watch movies from like the early 2000s. You know, they're
There's a
being
reason
so
for that.
picky, and I'm just like,
Yeah, they just want all
Okay.
the Pixar computer animated ones.
So this speaks so much to core memories for people. Like you're a big Hunchback fan, right? Is that the one that you remember seeing in the theater?
Hercules.
So you're a big Hercules fan. You, Lariah, are a big Lilo and Stitch fan.
yes.
That released in the theaters in 2002.
Damn.
So that was probably the first movie you remember seeing in the theater as a Disney fan.
No. The first one I remember seeing is Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But we had all the VHS.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah. Movies were a luxury
Like,
when we
we-
were kids, so.
Yeah, going to see a movie unless it was at the $2 movie theater.
Well, because it was like $85 for a family of 2.
Yeah.
Right.
When did Nemo come out?
I think that was 2001, 2000.
Okay, so
3.
this is just Walt Disney Animation. Nemo was Pixar, right?
Pixar.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can look that up.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Walt Disney Animation movies.
Oh, as far as Disney, I have no idea what was the first one I saw in theaters.
Yeah, the early 2000s was like 2000 through 2010 was not a great time for Disney movies.
Oh, 3. That's when
Okay.
Finding
Okay.
Nemo came out.
Okay.
So then, like, if you look at the 2000s, we're getting completely off topic, but
It's
that's
okay.
okay. So
It all circles.
The Emperor's New Groove came out in 2000.
Fabulous.
I love that movie.
That movie is now 23 years old. 22 years old. Lilo and Stitch in 2002. After that, they didn't have any really big hits. Treasure Planet, Brother Bear.
Hey, wait. Brother Bears.
Yeah, we're a big brother.
I'm just saying it was not like
No,
the
but it's
commercial
not
success of some of the
popularized,
others, right?
yeah.
Chicken Little, The Wild, Meet the Robinsons in 2007.
That was a good
That was
movie.
good. That was good.
Made me
next-
laugh, but
those-
it was a one and done for me.
Those were
Yeah.
all on Disney Channel, too.
Yes,
Right.
they were.
So the
So-
next big one after Lilo and Stitch was The Princess and the Frog.
And when was that?
2009.
What?
Dang.
How is that movie 13 years old already?
Right.
And then they went through another pretty good run with The Princess and the Frog, Tangled.
Wasn't Princess and the Frog the last, like, truly animated? Because Tangled is computer animation. So I feel like Princess and the Frog was, like, one of the last big releases that was, like, regular
Hand drawn.
animation.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that.
Yeah, so the description, back to Disney's traditional hand-drawn animation. The Princess and the Frog showed that Disney still has got it. It ended up being a lost film of the Renaissance. It was as successful as Aladdin in the box office. I love it when Disney returns to the roots when Disney was awesome.
I
Was
would like
somebody's-
them to go back and do animation the way they used to.
It's time for Disney Trivia with Candace. So, Beauty and the Beast was actually the first Disney movie that had any computer animation in it at all. And it was the ballroom scene. And when you look out the window and you see the snowflakes coming down, that was the first time that they actually employed computer animation as well as hand-drawn animation. So, that's why it's so super special. Like, we've been to Be Our Guest restaurant. I think it's fabulous. It's beautiful. It's an experience. Don't go for breakfast. But whatever the case may be, it's a good place to go once just so you can see the inside of the place. But when you're in the ballroom and you look out the quote-unquote windows, the snowflakes that are falling are actually the animation cells from the movie.
so cool. I did not know that.
That's insane.
See?
I know.
Disney magic.
Disney magic. Okay, so wrapping this kind of conversation up, going back to the making of the live action versions of the old animated classics. We've talked a lot about the ones that we don't like. What do you think their best remake of a animated into a live action was?
Cinderella.
I want to say Cinderella too because I really liked that one. However, I don't hate Aladdin, but I love the animated Aladdin. I would pick the animated Aladdin over. I don't think I would choose any live action over the original.
I would agree with that.
But I feel like Will Smith as the genie was a great move, and then everybody else who was casted was a great move. But I don't know. I have to agree with you. Cinderella was just, it was good.
Yeah, and so for me, Aladdin is a tough one, just because I think they did a really good job with it. But nobody is as classic as Robin Williams.
Amen.
There will never be anything that can live up to Robin Williams' genie.
And to that point, I think, props to Disney and props to the directors and the cast even for not trying to emulate or copy Robin Williams' genie, because there will never be
Right.
another one. And I love the spin that Will Smith took on that character.
Yep.
To kind of make it his own while still living true to the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Candace, do you have a favorite live action? I have one that I think is going to be kind of unpopular, but...
Ooh, I love unpopular opinions.
No.
Okay. I thought the Beauty and the Beast live action remake was actually really good.
I can see why.
The cast in it is phenomenal.
The cast in it, like, they went into the story about Belle losing her mom. That some of the additional detail they added to that one, plus some of the music that they added to it, I just thought that was a really well done live action remake.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible at all. It wasn't. And I also changed my answer.
Okay.
My favorite live action is 101 Dalmatians.
They did a live action remake of that?
A long time ago, so this probably doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. So Glenn Close was Cruella, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
So
But
they've
then
been
we have
doing
the
this
new
for
spin.
a while.
Yeah.
Then we have the new spin of Cruella.
yeah.
Which I've heard is fabulous. I haven't.
I've heard that too. I haven't seen it yet though, but I want to.
It's so good.
Is it? Okay, I really want to see it.
You would love it. I know
Yeah?
you, because you love Maleficent. I feel like
I do.
you love the female
talk about Maleficent.
villains.
We didn't talk about Maleficent.
That was good.
Okay, that's my answer.
Okay.
Well, but that's not really a remake of the story, though, is it?
But it's a good
But it's
way
a
to
live
do
action.
it.
Yeah, it's a live action from an animated story. Okay, I'll allow it.
It's like an origin story.
And it's a good way.
That's not a superhero.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to kind of reintroduce a story in someone else's
Yeah.
point of view. Why didn't we get into
That's
this
the direction
earlier?
they should have gone with a lot of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jafar. That would have been creepy.
Except too many snakes.
Yeah, I don't think we could deal with that.
Have him turn into an alligator.
Ooh, okay. Nah.
They climb trees.
Okay, complete aside, we were watching an all ears video last night, and they were doing it was an everything in Dino Land, and they walked over and showed your favorite alligator in Dino Land.
The Nile crocodile.
It's actually an American crocodile.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
really?
wasn't a Nile. They
Oh.
wouldn't do that. They could not do that.
Sorry, I don't know my crocodile breed.
And they're
I
like,
have to know
speaking of
them.
dinosaurs,
There's one right over there. It's,
Okay,
we gotta watch that.
I was scared of him, but
I just
he was just
remember-
sitting there chilling. Okay.
No, and this was you. We were both standing there looking for it. I spotted him. You're already back with Scott.
Yeah,
Candace.
but I'm not going to sit there and stare at him, but it was a mutual respect saying, you're going to stay right there
I'm going to stay
And
over
have
here.
fun.
That's
in your little pond. I'm going to leave.
too funny. Okay, anything else from so our opinion is that it is like all the live action remakes are truly a cash grab by Disney. But it's an understandable cash grab because they're trying to redo the vault. They're trying to just bring more people into the nostalgia to the parks and that kind of thing. So it is a cash grab, and sometimes they do it right, sometimes they do it wrong.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to quickly say that the remake of Pete's Dragon sucks, and the original is amazing.
Really? You don't like it?
I forgot they did it.
Yeah.
See, there's so many of the remakes that I just forget about because I'm all...
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what I just in the last couple of minutes, that's what I learned is like I've thought that like the live action remakes of things were like a last 5 or 10 years phenomenon.
No.
But it's not. They've been doing it for 25 years.
They have, and I think there's even a Lady and the Tramp one too that we
Yes,
didn't
there
talk
is.
about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe in another episode we'll go through and well, I don't know that I want to talk about this again. It just kind of the live action films just make me oogie.
Any more, yeah, but like the villain ones, they're pretty cool, and they're like a new take on it. And
Yeah, I
then-
like the origin story piece of it. It's like it helps you
Yeah.
understand where that character comes from and what happened in their life to make them the horrible person they are.
Yeah.
right to kind of give them some more
To humanize them a little bit. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're not just the embodiment of evil.
right.
You've had some serious crap go on in your life. Mm-hmm. And not that that's an excuse by any means.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a villain, and a Disney villain at that, you need a good backstory.
We want to know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay. This was a fantastic episode to record. This was a fun conversation.
Yep.
Thank you all. And we will, I don't know what I was going to say there, but remember, there is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.